Sound check. Sound check. Sound check. Sound check. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday with Sara Mae. I am your host, Sara Mae. I am a life coach and energy healer and the founder and instructor of Empowered Empaths Academy. It is my goal to help as many people as possible awaken to their inner light, awaken to their inner God self, awaken to their highest, most authentic self. And as part of that goal, each and every Wednesday that I am able to, I come live on Facebook and share some of my wisdom with you. In an effort to expand my reach with this, I have also started uploading the replays to YouTube. So if you want to catch up on the replays, if you know somebody who you think needs this information, feel free to lead them to the Healing with Sara Mae channel on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for being here, whether you're live or on the replay. I would love to know who's here and who's participating. Your energy participates in these sessions, whether you're live or on the replay. And it's always great to know who's interacting with me energetically. So say hello in the comments. Let me know where you're from and that you're here. That's always really fun when people participate. Right now, we are in the end, the third month, the last final run of self-love summer. Since June 1st, we have been committed to loving ourselves more, to learning about ourselves more, to learning what our needs are and how we can meet our own needs. And this month, we've really been focused on people pleasing and boundaries, because if we are on a self-love journey, if we're on a healing journey, it's very important that we address our people pleasings and set up boundaries for ourselves. As a quick reminder, a people pleaser personality means a person feels a strong urge to please others, even at their own expense. They may feel that their wants and needs don't matter or alter their personality around others. People pleasers often lack boundaries. A boundary is a line that marks the limits of an area, and our personal boundaries are the limits that we set for ourselves, with ourselves, and within our relationships. And these are what keep us protected. This is what keeps us safe and keeps us loved and keeps our needs met, right? An important boundary for you to set, an important boundary for you to take control of in your life, if you are on a healing or a self-love journey, is your inner and outer circles. your inner and outer circles. And a lot of people don't even know that they have inner and outer circles. I know when I first heard this concept, I first heard it from Tony Robbins. In the Tony Robbins class, they were talking about the inner and outer circles and the importance of keeping your inner and outer circles in balance for your optimal life. And it just blew my mind that this is something that you can choose. This is something that you can curate. And if you are on any kind of improvement expansion journey, your inner and outer circles are something that is extremely vital for your growth and for your evolution. Honestly, there are a few sayings that I have here that come to mind when I think about this subject. The first one is one from Jen Rohn, and I probably heard this from Tony Robbins and Dean Gramazzi as well. And that is, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Another one that's often heard is, you are who you hang with, right? So many people have said that. No one knows who to attribute it to, but you are who you hang with. And the third one is from the amazing, talented artist Billie Eilish, birds of a feather, we should stick together. And we all know the saying, birds of a feather stick together, right? And these are all sayings that show that for a very, very long time, there are people that have been very aware of the fact that the people that are around you the most affect you. The people that you are around the most affect you. They affect your life. They affect your success. They affect your trajectory in life. They affect you more than you think about, unless you actually think about. So now that I got you thinking about it, I want to ask you a question. This is a question I got from Jamie. I highly recommend it. And I want you to ask yourself right now, take a moment, take a breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And ask yourself this question as I state it, right? Are the people around you the most, this includes your friends and your loved ones, are the people that are around you the most in your life, or your cage? Are they your circle or your cage? Take a moment and think about that. Think about it for a second. Ask yourself, are the people around you supportive? Are they empowering? Do they truly want what's best for you and not just what's best for them? Do they lead with love when they interact with you? Or are they disempowering? Do they expect you to conform to their expectations and lead with fear? Do you feel safe to share all of who you are? Or do you hide parts of yourself so you don't get judged or berated or belittled? Do you have different beliefs and that's okay, and you're able to go back and forth and learn and grow with one another? Or do the people in your life pressure you to believe what they believe? Are they supportive and uplifting? Or do they feel more like a cage of expectations that's holding you down? What does your circle feel like to you? And the way it feels is so vital because it's the key. It's the absolute key to forming your circles. Just as we can know the ocean because it always tastes of salt, we can recognize enlightenment because it tastes of freedom. This is a quote from Buddha. Okay. And what does this mean? This means we know what it feels like when something is good and right and supportive. Your inner circle should feel like a hug and taste like freedom. It should be a place where you can relax, where you can be yourself, where you can be wrong and messy and emotional, where you can share your dreams and be supported and not shot down. And you should be able to do all of those things knowing that you will still be loved in spite of them, knowing that you can be you and be loved. You can mess up and be loved. You can be wrong and be loved. That's okay. It feels supportive. A strong, supportive circle reinforces your worthiness. They reinforce how amazing you are. They remind you of your value when you forget. A cage is the opposite. A cage makes you want to change or hide who you are. A cage makes you put on that mask in hopes of belonging, in hopes of being approved, in hopes of love. Now, most people don't choose their own circle. Like I said, when I first heard about it, it blew my whole mind. And I only heard about it because I went to a Tony Robbins self-improvement seminar. Not everybody does that, right? I had no idea that a circle was a thing that we have any control about or even existed, right? When it comes to a person's closest circle, most people don't ever intentionally choose the people that they surround themselves with. I call this baby's first circle, right? When you are born, you have no control over your circle. You are born into a family, you are born into a tribe, you are born into a situation, and you need to get in where you fit in and adapt. There's no choices, right? When we're born, we are born into a circle, and most of us stay inside of that circle. We stay inside of the environment where we were born in, and we allow the situation that we were born in, the family that we were born in, the class that we were born in, to determine the trajectory of the rest of our lives. We are in an environment and then we become a product of the environment, right? Who's ever heard that saying? Oh, they're just a product of their environment, right? That's another popular saying that we have because this is a very, very real thing. The group in your environment becomes your default circle. This is mates, your work colleagues, the people that are just thrust into your life. We often just include them in our circle, and that becomes of the circle. I want you to take a second and think about the people that you most frequently talk with, the people that you ask advice from, or the people that you choose to spend your free. Have they gone places that you want to go? Have they done things that you want to do? Are they inspiring? Are they in a relationship that you would want to be in? Do they parent in a way that you aspire to parent to? Do they take care of their health and body in the way that you want to take care of yours? Do they love themselves and put themselves first? If you're sitting here and you're thinking that your current circle is a little bit like a cage when you think about it, know that you're not alone. Most people feel this way to some extent, and that's why we walk around masking all the time. But something that I want you to know, something that so many of us in the self-growth community and the neurodivergent community, in the empath community, in the healing community, in the LGBTQ community know is that you can choose your circle. You can choose your circle. And it's life-changing when you do. So let's talk about different things when we're talking about curating a circle, right? And one thing that I really want to talk about is the value of variance. The value of variance. Like I said, when you're born, you are born into a family. That family has a status quo. They live in a town. Maybe, your father was a lawyer and his father was a lawyer and their father was a lawyer, or your father was a mechanic and your brother's now a mechanic and his father was a mechanic. Everyone's a mechanic, right? The men grow up, they get blue collar jobs. You're born into an already made system, right? And that's all you know. No, I remember white bread. White bread totally blew my mind because I'd only seen wheat bread in my house. And when I saw white bread, I didn't even know what it was. That's how little exposure I had to the world. Or when I found out that some people bought cakes from bakeries, that was mind blowing. I mean, this is how sheltered we are as children and inside of our lives. And if all we ever see is the inside of our house, if all we ever see is our family dynamic, we don't realize what else is in there in the world. Right now we're in an election year. There's a lot of politics in the air. There's a lot of heated debates and stuff like that, and it could be easy to want to just cling to the people who agree with you naturally, who have those ideas that you have. You, especially if you're a people pleaser, you're really wanting to avoid conflict or anything like that. But I will let you know that if you do not expand your circle beyond those who already think like you, who already do things like you, who are in that first original circle, everybody's always done the same thing the same way forever and ever, just because that's how it's done. No one's thinking bigger. You're never going to grow. You're never going to grow. This is why when it seems like such a good idea to link up with like-minded people, I know, like as an adult looking for friends, you're like, oh, well, how do I find a friend? Well, maybe I will go to church. There you go. Maybe I will go to church because then I will find people that are like me. And yes, there are going to be people that are like-minded like you if you go there, if you go to church, if you go to a crafting class, if you go to a bar, right? You go the different places that you go to, you're going to find different types of people. So when you go there to find, you go looking, usually want to find is you want to find not like-minded people, but like-hearted people. Like-hearted people. You want people that love the same way that you do, that have similar values to those that you do. We want to surround ourselves with people that have different opinions because learning new things helps us to grow and expand from where we are. There is a saying, never trust a man who only reads one book. If you've only ever looked at something from one perspective, you don't have the opportunity to grow and change and expand. And for those of us who are the cycle breakers, for those of us that are the way makers of the family, for those of us who are doing bigger, better, more than anybody has ever done before, who are breaking out, and this new information is our lifeline. So you want to, yes, I mean, absolutely. I'm not saying don't like go around people that share your interests or that you're not like-minded with. But when you're choosing these people for your circle, when you're choosing these people who are going to be the closest to you in your life, you want to go with those that you have a heart connection with. Again, these people should feel like a hug. These people should feel like expansion, opportunity. They should make the world seem bigger, right? This is what we want when we are looking for the people that we're going to include in our circle. So I encourage you to spend time with people who are like-hearted, not necessarily like-minded. It's important that we spend time and listen to others' opinions and different angles of things so we can grow. And this is a wonderful way to make this happen. Another thing to remember about your circles is that as you grow, your circles will change. As you have new goals in life, your circles will change. As you expand, your circles will change. And this doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with your circle. We're going to talk about inner outer circles and people that don't belong in either of those circles later. And I want you to know, just because somebody doesn't stay in your inner circle, just because you might shift them to the outer circle or life, might shift them to your outer circle. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with them or with you. It just means that your needs, your path has changed and up leveled, and now your circle needs to do the same as well. If you have new goals, you need a new circle to support you. Does that make sense? Throw up some hearts if this is making sense for you. So many of us can miss out on our growth and our calling because we're stuck in our circle. Who has ever been at a job where you just loved your coworkers so much that you never wanted to leave, right? I've been in that situation. I know a lot of other people that have been in that situation. I know lots of people that have stayed at jobs that didn't have any growth potential in it because they liked their friends at that job so much. They were not able to level up because they insisted in staying in that circle. Does that make sense? Right? So it's important to know that your circle will change, as you grow, as you move on. And this doesn't mean that we don't love these people. That doesn't mean that they've done anything wrong or that we're not their friends or that we don't talk to them. It just means that life has grown in a different direction and we're in a different place now. So know that it's okay. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. You don't have to only remove toxic people from your life. You don't have to feel obligated or anything like that. Your circle will change as your life changes, and that's totally okay. This is a wonderful saying that I've heard a lot of different ways. Trent Shelton says it this way: be careful telling your dreams to people who aren't dreamers. Be careful telling your dreams to people who aren't dreamers. And that's an expansion upon what we were just talking about. When you're in, especially when you're in that initial birth circle, right? And you're dreaming bigger, better, more. If you're talking to somebody who has only ever thought this big and you're giving them ideas this big, they can't see it. They can't see it. If they have a wall that they can't cross that barrier, right? That seems impossible to them. You have decided that you're going to be the first millionaire in your family and everybody else in your family lives paycheck to paycheck. And you're sitting there talking to your mother, father, brother, cousin who has lived paycheck to paycheck their entire life about how you're going to be a millionaire. Okay. They aren't going to have supportive energy for that. If they were able to see themselves as a millionaire, they would be a millionaire. They don't see themselves that way, so they can't see you that way, so they can't support you in that. It's important for you to recognize the capacity of others, and it's nothing against them. They are where they are, just like you are where you are. There was a time that you could not imagine yourself as you are today. There is a version of you whose mind would be blown knowing you today, right? Absolutely. There was a time point in their life where they can't imagine someone who grew up paycheck to paycheck being a millionaire. They can't support that idea. So you need to be careful of who you tell your dreams to. You need to be careful about who you have in your inner and outer circle. So now let's really get into this inner and outer circle, right? And what is the inner and outer circle? So the first thing I want you to notice is that right in the middle here is you. Is you. The self is in the middle. The self. And when I say self, I want to point out that I am saying your divine and your human self. You, your feelings, your connection to your body, and your connection to your God, your connection to your guides, your connection to your inner guidance is the most sacred thing and should be at the center of your life and of your universe. It should. You are the center of your own universe. And it's important that you keep yourself, both your divine and your human self, at the center. So know that that is the biggest, most solid circle that you have, and you always want to be solid with yourself. Earlier on Empath Awakening, I posted a question: would you rather have external peace or inner peace? And the answer I was hoping for on that is the inner peace, because always remember your most sacred relationship is with yourself and with your God. Okay. Besides that most sacred relationship, let's get to the relationships we're talking to today, and that's the inner and outer circle. And to do this, I want you to imagine two circles, right? One inner, one outer, both important. We have this big white rainbow inner circle and this lovely solid black outer too. The ones that are the wind beneath your wings, who inspire you to ascend, who inspire you to go to greater heights, who you share your secrets with and who share your secrets with you. These are the friends that I allow to hold my vision. These are the dreamers that I allow to dream with me. Okay. Your inner circle are people who care about you and they care for you as an individual, as a person. They see you and your opinions and your hopes and your challenges and your quirks with love and support. This is how your inner circle should ideally look. Your outer circle, these are also people that you care about. These are also people that you love. When we grow, when we expand, especially if we're in a dysfunctional family, if we're on a healing journey, our family members often move from that inner circle that has the most influence over us to the outer circle. So these are people that we love. These are people that we care about. These aren't people that we don't want in our lives. These are people that are very much in our lives, but the extent is going to be different because their belief systems, their habits, the emotional environment that they create can make that cage. It makes us hide who ourselves. This could be the people that raised us. These could be people that we grew up with. They might be people that you really, really like and really enjoy seeing, but they could also be people that you only want to see in certain situations, or you don't tell your dreams to. You don't tell your next big plan that you're working on. You might share with them after the harvest has come, but you're not sharing your seed planting with them, right? Does that make sense? And these circles, I feel it's really important to say that these circles used to be a lot easier to maintain before social media. Social media has really blurred these lines. Before, were the people who saw you on a day-to-day basis. And now you can share. I have over 700 Facebook friends. If I share about my day, if I share about my manifestation, if I share about my intent, I'm telling 700 people. And so many of us have been taught that we just put it all out there in the world. So this has really blurred these lines. But it's important to remember to keep your inner circle, because then they're able to add energy into it. Okay. So your outer circle people are people we're not going to tell everything to. They might be people that you love and care about deeply, and they might be really kind and loving, but they're only able to see your opinions, hopes, ambitions, and quirks through the lens of judgment, through the lens of fear, through the lens of limited capacity, right? I have a child who travels all over the country, And I am so supportive and loving and joyful for them. But it can be seen how other people would not be able to be supported situation because they could be fearful, not scared, that I'm not worried about my child. I'm not concerned for their safety. Of course, I'm concerned for my child's safety, but I love them and I see their adventuring, I see their traveling, I see their alternative way of life as a beautiful expression as of themselves, as a wonderful way that they are being their most authentic self. So I'm able to do that through love, and I don't project my own fear. But if I were a parent that were projecting my own fears, that was projecting my right? I mean, an overbearing parent might easily be like, don't leave me. Who's going to take care of me? I'm not going to see you. What about me? But I know that it's not about me, right? So I'm able to be supportive, which allows me to stay in my child's inner circle. I hope that makes sense. Stir up some hearts if that's making sense for you. Both of these circles, both of them give you a sense of belonging. They both give you a sense of family, but you can give the people in them, and even individuals, it's not just two big groups. You can choose each and every single person. You get to decide the level of access that they have to trust them with, how vulnerable you allow yourself to be with them, and how much of your time you allow them to have. These are the things that you get to decide for these people in your life. And both circles and the people of in them should feel like circles. They should feel like a hug, right? A hug is a circle, right? Everybody in these circles should feel like hugs. If they're in your inner circle, if they're in your outer circle, they should feel good. They should not feel like cages. Sometimes a person feels like a circle, but when they're closer to you, when you allow them into your inner circle, you realize that this person's actually a cage, right? You realize that, oh, I thought that it was okay for me to share my dreams with this person, but actually it's not. You know, like when I do this, they're actually really self-centered in this. They could really only see their own benefit in this. They can't see me and support me. And when you realize that, it's totally okay for you to adjust that person and put them in that outer circle. Take note, change and adjust. And no, maybe there's going to be a time in your life or a different event that you will act differently for, that you will choose to pull them into your inner circle for. And it might be something just specific. And that's okay. It's okay if it goes back and forth. I will let you know, though, if there are people that inner circle, outer circle, they feel like a cage. If all they bring is toxic energy into your life consistently, if they are nothing but stressful for you, it is okay for you to push them outside of either circle. This is the toxic people that we have in the bottom left hand corner here. Okay. If somebody is toxic in your life, they don't need to be in your life. They don't need to be on your Facebook page. They don't need to know your wins or your wishes or your dreams or any of that. If they're toxic, you don't have to involve with them. If they're toxic and they're in your family and you see them at the party, you might choose not to talk to them at the party. That's okay. You're allowed to do that. Okay. So now that we've talked about the inner circle, the outer circle, and the toxic people that don't belong in any circle, take a minute to think about the people in your life, to think about the people that raised you, to think about the people that you talk to the most, and see where they are and how they feel. See how that feels to you. Are these people that feel like hugs and I should have in my inner circle? Are these people that I need, that I love, and I can have their support, but they just can't be in my inner circle? And I'm going to keep them on the side. Or are these toxic people that I need to remove from my life? These are very important boundaries to set in order to really love yourself on every level. Spend time with people who pull you into your future, not your past. This is a saying I've heard a lot. I cannot attribute it to anyone. I don't know who said it, but it's absolutely powerful and profound. Spend time with people who pull you into your future, not your past. When you're looking for inner circle people, you want people that are projecting you forward, that are helping your growth, that are helping your ascension, that are helping you to be your most authentic, true self, the best you that you can be. This is who we want. Spend people who pull you into your future, not your past. So who's ready? Who is ready to start evaluating their circles? Who's ready to start really looking at the people in their lives, how they support them, and then placing them accordingly within your boundaries as far as it comes to access, right? As far as it comes to prioritizing them, as far as it comes to your trust, your vulnerability, and your time. Who's ready to start curating those circles so they can have the most loving, supportive life possible based in unconditional love and filled with lasting happiness? I know I'm ready. Yes, I see your hearts flying up. I see that. I'm ready too, and I'm so proud of you for being ready. If you really, really enjoyed this session, know that a lot of it was strongly inspired by Jamie Kern Lima's book, Worthy. It is an amazing, amazing book. It was inspired by just one chapter of her book. And it was something that I knew that I really had to include in Self-Love Summer this year because it was so moving when I read that chapter. I highly recommend that you read this book. There's so many different ways to get it. I literally have had it in every form. I rented the physical copy from my local library, which was very impressive. A lot of the books that I read are not available at the local library. It absolutely was. I have it on my Hoopla app, which is like a Kindle through the library. Again, didn't have to pay anything for it. Very, very accessible. I also, because I returned that physical copy to the library and really want a physical copy for myself, I did order myself one off of Amazon. And because I do a lot of driving and love to listen to this stuff over and over again when I drive, I also have it on Audible. So you can get this on Audible. You can get it at your library. You can get it shipped to you from Amazon. You can get it on like a Kindle, any app. It's so very, very available. I'll drop some links for anybody who wants to use my affiliate link and buy the book. If not, it's very accessible. Highly, highly recommended. Invest some time in yourself and read this book. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you for giving yourself this time to work on you, to learn more about how you can treat yourself better and how you can improve your life and how you can create a loving, supportive environment for yourself by curating a circle that is supportive and loving, a circle that is love forward, not fear forward. And please know that you are worthy and deserving of this. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for joining me for Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you for doing the hard work that it takes to raise your vibration. When you raise your vibration, you don't only raise your own vibration, but you raise the vibration of everybody around you, and you raise the vibration of the collective as a whole. It is my opinion that this is the most sacred work that any of us can do. And because of that, the light in me bows to the light in you. And so I say, namaste. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all, and I will see you next time.